piece here, and it crosses the sidewalk. It's temporary. It's not attached to her house in any way, any fashion. We've done it simply because so she can get in and out easier.
Give you a little background on it. I went over and talked to Russ, and I told him what we need to do, and we've done it in the past in a couple other circumstances, is get Bob to sign some sort of an indemnification form. I told him he's gonna need approval to use it from you guys since it's actually built on town property. It's over here, the little house.
Courtyard.
115.
That little triangle right here by the track?
Yeah, that house that's about this far from the property line in front, and they made a wall for her to get in and easy out of the house because it's really, the old step was there. It's one step, but it's like, 13, 14 inches. It's a big step, and they made a little platform. It's not really even a porch.
Yeah.
It's sitting on the ground. It's more like a, I don't know, extended step. But I told him I didn't really have a problem with it, but to get approval from you guys and then get some sort, I just know when we did it in the past, John Culp had us do an indemnification form. So if somebody gets hurt or something, it's not on the town.
I don't know if we have a form. I remember we did that when they wanted to set the tables out on the sidewalks down there in front of,
We have one, but I think Manny should probably look at it and make sure that it's.
Well,
tweak it and make sure it covers everything
we did one for in front of Ed's building too. They did the ramp with the rail and the sidewalk and stuff
Yep.
to make it easier access to the building and make it ADA compliant. They did one then too.
When you say temporary, how long are we talking about?
Well, I suppose until if she ever moves from there.
Oh,
You
okay.
can make it run just for her.
I didn't know whether you had something else in mind down
Well,
there.
no, when I said temporary, I guess I meant while she was there, I suppose, while she lives there in that home.
I don't think there's any issue with it myself. I just wanted you guys to approve it.
I'd like to make a motion that we waive the building permit or any permits for, as long as this is basically it's a hardship case
Yeah, there's
type
not a permit
deal,
for it.
and then it's a temporary, and we get the form signed, and,
I say,
no charge to it.
It's the preacher's daughter, is who it is.
Yeah, it's Reverend Barnett's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Well, John made a motion, and I heard a second from Toby, so,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Is there any legwork that I can do between here and Bob?
Then when she gets it.
I'll let you know when I get the.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks. I appreciate that a lot.
Yep.
We appreciate
We,
it.
I look out my window and I see her, she struggles to get in, and
Yeah,
between me and my roommate and one of our buddies, I said, man, I wish I could afford to, build this little porch thing for her, and my buddy said, I'll buy it, you guys do the labor. So the three of us came together and just kind of give back to our community a little bit.
It's nice.
Gotta make us feel good.
I hope it's contagious.
So, I do too.
I hope it spreads all over town.
Yeah. Well, there's still good people in this town.
Yeah.
sure there are.
People just need to start caring a little more.
They do.
That's all. So, anyhow, thank you guys. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for doing that and looking out for her.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I say,
neighbors.
be more
should be
people like
neighbors.
that around town, and be a better place.
We got a pretty good little community. We have a lot of this little town,
Yeah.
I see stuff on the other end of town that concerns me, I don't even live down there, but it's still my community,
Yeah.
so. But it's cleaned up a lot, we're doing good. Everything's,
Just come along. It takes time.
yeah. But anyhow, thank you guys, I appreciate
You're welcome.
it.
Thanks,
Thank
Russ.
you, thank
See you
you.
later.
Patience.
Have a good night.
Welcome back anytime.
Oh, he was nervous.
I told him, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask.
Sorry you had to wait so long.
I just wish more people would ask instead of just taking students there. That's good, that's good practice.
That's nice for her, cause it does. They put too much stone in there. That's the other thing. They put parking out there. They put too much stone in it, and now you got the house here and the driveway here, and the sidewalk is like. So when it rains, it gets like 6 or 7 inches of water on it.
I seen that lady here a while back, she doesn't get around very well at all. So, yeah.
No, it's a big help to her.
Yeah.
She just had surgery again the last couple of weeks, so.
So that's a big help.
Okay, we'll drop back to old business.
Under old business, the contract for Orange Youth Baseball Organization Corporation out there. I seen Manny's reply back and wanted to touch base on that and see, you know, what everybody's thoughts were, I'd like to have a meeting with Manny present to answer any questions and all of us there with any of our comments and suggestions and concerns. Like I say, I sent him mine, I went through that line by line and I wrote out things that concern me and suggestions on changes and stuff. And he's kind of replied back with some of his replies. I'd like to ask him some questions in regards to his reply and his thoughts on what I had. So I don't know if we want to do that at a board meeting and ask Manny to attend the board meeting and review that with him at a meeting. But there's some things that I'd like to bring to their attention, to Manny's attention, that some of the replies are kind of, I kind of took it that he may not be real familiar with the agreement of the original contract or something. And he's talking about paying and things like that. And I don't know if he's referring to the teams paying them or if he refers to them paying us and different things like that. And on one of them I made a comment about having Andy appointed as our representative and him appointing one person as their representative so that there wasn't 10 different people out there dealing with it and this and that. And he says, he comes back saying something about leaving it the same. And originally the original was like it had to be approved by the utility superintendent, Andy, and the town council. And my recommendation was that Andy was a representative, and if they had any changes, that they would talk to Andy, and Andy would bring them to us at the board meeting, and then we'd vote on them. And that's kind of the way, I feel it should really be handled. We have the ultimate say, and and this way, anytime that they want to do something, well, they're going to tell Andy, and then we're going to hear their side and Andy's side, and why Andy's reasoning and that type of thing on some of the issues that we've had in the past. That would eliminate that, I feel. And and then they could send a representative at the meeting that it was going to be presented by Andy, and they could voice their side or opinion if it's something that was denied or whatever. And
He's kind of got that backwards, is that what you're saying, where it really, maybe it should be with,
Well, I think he
youth
said,
superintendent approval and town council authorization or sign off?
Yeah, and Andy has got the experience on the construction and different issues and things like that, and building codes, and he's our building commissioner, and he knows the ordinances and the requirements for the building codes and ordinances and what it takes to do things. And Andy don't really necessarily have to prove anything. I mean, other than his job as a position, for instance, like those dugouts out there, there's an issue there that they don't meet building code right now, and the contractor's aware of that, and he built them anyway because they told him to proceed with it the way they wanted them. So now that's got to be addressed, and as far as I'm concerned, they got to tear it back apart to the point where they can reconstruct those to meet the building ordinances and codes the same as anybody else. And to me, that's kind of where, like I said, we're getting back into them not following the original ordinance where they're supposed to get approval for this type of thing. If they would have done that, then Andy could have told them that that wasn't acceptable and it had to be built to code and what code was. Instead, they had their own ideas and they went with it. Now that's why they're going to have, in my opinion, and sitting here, they're going to have to tear it back down, and it's going to cost them more time and more labor to do that to get it to meet code so it'll pass. And we waived a permit fee, helping them out that manner, but still they got to meet code the same as anybody else. So I think that this would, that's an issue there that I think would help resolve some of that.
What do you think about, doing a conference call in, where whoever, you could do it from work, Manny can set it up, and then that way you guys can talk about, because times, things are still progressing out there, and if, just to talk about it, and then have Manny come to the council meeting with the, contract the way we want it to be.
Yeah, and
That way we don't have to wait 2 weeks to talk to him, and then another 2 weeks to get a revised contract.
I'm all in favor of, I was hoping that we would have more input on this, you know, at our meeting. We were all gonna send everybody our ideas and suggestions, and I didn't see any but mine, and, you know, and that seemed where you agreed with what Manny said in his original one on the thing, so I didn't know how anybody else felt about the things that I feel is an issue or whatever, and I didn't get any feedback. You know, Toby replied and agreed with me, except for some insurance that I was asking about, having a set amount, which Robin and I, when after Toby sent that, I asked Robin to check with our insurance carrier, and that way they have a plenty, their policy is plenty enough to cover anything out there. So, you know, I was hoping that we would have that email correspondence like we were talking about that meeting, to where basically we would have had the ideas back and forth, and we would have had an idea of what each one of us wanted, and we could have went ahead and sent this to Manny, and his reply would have been with everybody's input and everybody's suggestions and changes, and maybe we could have had
I didn't put a lot in that because I didn't have any real strong concerns with the original contract. I know you mentioned the name issue, and I'm still a little confused on that. Does the original contract say Orange Youth Baseball?
Yeah, and Manny says that contract is not any good because they are Orange Youth Baseball Corporation, and he says that, he said in his reply that he recommends that we terminate the original contract and redo it under their official title.
Okay.
And he found that on the state site where they're registered, and he said they have to use their state registered official title to enter into the contract.
In this correspondence today, it says Orange Youth Baseball Corporation.
Yeah.
So that's their official
That's their
501(c).
Yeah, that's what they're registered with the state. He said that's what they
And
have to
isn't that
enter
the
to.
name they're going with?
That's something that Steve's gonna have to, you know, I mean,
I don't know if you're referencing the IVAMAX. I know that's their title sponsor.
The only difference is on the old contract, the corporation was left off, right?
Is that the word that was missing?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And for that to be legal, and that's what I talked to Manny back here, and he said that without their official title in there, that contract is not legal and binding.
So that was a previous attorney, oops.
And I kinda remember when we were sitting up here, we were at, you know, I think there was something said, and Steve was here, and they said, well, what do you want on there, you know, and it was like Orange Baseball, Orange, you know, whatever, and he said, well, whatever. And so, you know, and it's probably one of the oversights where he didn't realize it had to be by their registered, official registered title with the state to be, you know, legal title.
Well, I think we definitely, I think a meeting, and hopefully I'm not getting the cart before the horse here, but I think we definitely need to meet with Orange Baseball as soon as possible and try to get this worked out, because there is a lot going on down there. I mean, you can just drive by and see
They had a great turnout this weekend.
the improvements that they're making, and you know, John, I want them to do it right. I don't want them to just come in and, you know.
And that's where I'm at, you
And
know.
I know that's where if I'm understanding you correctly, that's where, you know, your issues
You know,
are.
And like I said, I just went through the contract, and, you know, I just seen where, you know, they've been out there almost a year. You know, they got it May the 6th, well, it's been a year now. And, you know, I just seen where in the contract, they agreed to do this, do that, and do this, and they haven't done numerous things on that contract, you know, and
I think if we present that to them,
and that's,
I mean, I don't think we're gonna have an issue. I really don't. And if you guys feel differently, I want you to say that, but, the sponsorship alone down there is huge. I don't know if you've noticed
Well, it signed that.
all the sponsors that they have, and, I mean, this is, if we can work through these little things, I think we can move forward, and this can continue to be something great for Atlanta.
Yeah,
I mean,
they wanna work with us.
have you been down there this weekend? I mean, there were cars everywhere.
Saturday night, they were still playing at 9:30.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
fields lit up.
My concern too, it was brought up last meeting, is something in there needs to say, when they move on, they don't take
Right.
It's in
3/4
there,
of what's
yeah.
there, because they took out what was there, you know, like the
That's-
fence and some of that stuff, they replaced that, which is fine, but
So that's
Let's
gonna
make
be
sure that
discussed
they
with
leave.
Manny.
That's part of my suggestions and my recommendations is that's in there and. you know,
I might
just-
ask you, John, not to interrupt you real quick, as, I want, on your revised edition, that you wanna propose for the new contract, I only had, really I had two. One I don't understand. And by the way, I was in conversation with John today. We discussed a lot of stuff on here. And, I was gonna ask you here on number 8, I don't know if you have a copy, but it says, in the one that you proposed, it says add language that all improvements, modifications, and all equipment installed become the property of the town of Atlanta at no charge to the town and cannot be removed unless voted on by the town council. Now, my question is, what's considered, the equipment? Anything that's,
Anything's
Permanent.
attached to the property,
okay, so we're not talking about,
a baseball bat.
yeah, well, what's baseball equipment or, any mower?
Even though there was some.
Mower's not attached.
Yeah.
You're talking about a
What about a
shed.
batting net? If they purchase that, is that theirs or ours?
Be
Is
ours.
that considered a permanent
Permanent
fixture?
structure, yeah.
They're gonna pour a concrete slab and everything, so it's gonna
Actually,
make it a
they're not
permanent
gonna
structure.
go concrete slab. I talked to them this weekend. They've decided to put, it with the little kids field where it's even with 19 where it is on the league on the baseball field's property, and there'll be gravel underneath it where they can put the turf on top of it, so it'll drain properly, and they won't have to worry about cement and it not draining. And I told them that would be great, that they need to come up here and talk to everybody about it, but that was a lot better than trying to put it back behind one of the other fields and getting a cement truck in there and stuff like that, so. But I told them they had
You know,
to
one
come up
of
and
the problems, not
discuss
to
it.
interrupt you, Jody, but one of the problems I feel like is, that's exactly what my problem is. When a certain individual, whether it's you or me or John or Andy or Fred, goes out there and says, yes, this will be okay, but you gotta come up here and tell the board. I think
Well, I
that
told-
before, wait a minute, before
That's
anybody
okay.
makes that suggestion, and I'm not saying what you suggested was a bad suggestion, I'm not saying that.
I didn't suggest
I'm
it.
just saying that, you know, you need to confront the board first and say, you know, we need to bring this to them. I don't like somebody speaking for me personally. I really believe this, I believe this on my heart, that, the town board, we can delegate responsibility, but we cannot delegate authority. The authority is right here. This is
You're
the
right,
authority.
I told them
And
that it
that's 5
sounded a
people on
lot
the
better,
board
but
who are
they had to
elected.
come up here and talk
And,
to it.
the reason why you can't delegate authority is because you can't hold somebody accountable.
You're right.
Only those in authority are held accountable.
Well, you segued into something I wanna talk about.
Do
You segued into something I wanna talk about.
Okay.
I just seen you take my name out of this contract, my position out of this contract, because if you read it, I got zero authority, and I'm pickle in the middle here. And I'm getting it from every angle, and
I know you are.
I'm getting worn out on
I
it.
know you are.
And if they gotta come talk to you guys anyways, there's no reason to come talk to me. If they're building something, I'm the building commissioner, I'll be there. If there's a problem with utilities, I'm the utility superintendent, I'll be there. But I don't need, you know, they can walk through this door and talk to you just the same. I mean, they don't even need to tell me.
But you misunderstood me. I told them they had to come up here. I said that sounded better, but they have to come up here and talk to all of us because it's not just one of us that makes the idea.
Well, I know, but the problem is that sometimes that on the other end, they get the impression that if they come up, you know, they've already been given prior permission, they'll just come up and present it. And that's just not what.
Well, when I talked to Adrian, I said, it's not up to me, it's up to everybody, so they need to come up here and talk. But I did tell them that did sound better than trying to put it behind the other two diamonds and trying to get cement in there and.
I think we put Andy in a bad position, not just on
I
this
believe-
ball field, but other projects at time. Everybody knows Andy has an extreme amount of experience on what he does.
He's
I don't have any
knowledgeable.
problems with that at all, but the problem is, in defense of Andy, is like the ball diamond. They come up and say, well, I wanna do this, wanna do that, and Andy knows the ordinances probably as well, if not better than anybody up here. The point here is this example, Andy says, no, you can't do that. The ordinance won't allow you to do that. And they get mad, it gets all blown out of position, and it turns all sour, okay? Then we have a big meeting and town people get involved and everything up there. Now, the bottom line is, regardless of what happened, the point I'm trying to make is, once the boot hits the floor, so to speak, the only thing we can hold accountable to Andy is to do his job, and the only thing, if he's inproficient, all we can do is fire him. That's all we can do. And I don't mean you personally, Andy, I'm talking about your position.
That's what I'm saying, I would rather just come
But
deal
at
with
the
you.
same time, if it's a situation where the town, we lose the ball diamond, we lose this, or we lose the train festival because of something that went sour, the people sitting out here, the people, they're gonna hold us accountable. And rightfully so, because we are the position of authority. And when you're in authority, then you have to be held accountable. That's it. And so all I'm saying is this, and it kind of goes along with what John was just saying before we started this conversation about communication, is that if we're gonna govern this board, we need to govern as a team. We need to start telling each other exactly how we feel about certain issues, and not be afraid that we're gonna offend somebody, or whatever. I talked to John today, I totally disagree with the one thing he has on this new contract, the number 14, about our kids here involved in a baseball team through Orange. I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think Steve wants to get involved in it. And I told John that my personal opinion is, I think it's kind of an unfair burden to put on them to train our kids to play in a traveling team. I just don't think it's gonna happen. But the point of it is, we all have different views. I told somebody the other day, you can put a glass of water on this table, it's half full. I can see it half full, you can see it half empty. The bottom line is, that water level doesn't change. It's just how you see things, right? So that's all I'm trying to say, is I think we need better communication amongst each other, and I hope we're trying to do it without heated conversations and, and feel like you, because the bottom line is, we represent a district of people out here. We're a small-time community, but the bottom line is, I have somewhere down in the Republican Party, a district assigned to me. So do you. Every one of us has a district.
You don't.
And-
I don't.
Neither do you.
These don't, they're at large.
Well, okay.
We got the
whole
whole
town.
You guys are the enemy, so,
Yeah.
But anyway, you know
What
what I'm
about-
saying. My commitment is to the town first, my district of the town, then to the board members. So I have to do what's best for the town, and then hopefully we can work it together. That's the way politics works. I know this is an old time speech, but I'm kinda like John, I feel like we have to have better communication. And, if we do, we can avoid problems like this, you know.
Can Orange contact the board at large through email? Can they communicate with us that way?
I don't know why they don't come to a board meeting.
Well, I know, but in between board meetings, if something comes up, can they just email us as as a whole?
As long as you don't make, you can't make decisions via email,
Right,
then you're having
right.
a serial
But-
meeting or something, but
Right,
yeah.
but if they have an issue that comes up, we'd like to talk about this at the next board meeting, or this is what we'd like to do, or,
I think that's why this meeting needs to happen.
Yes.
With us and them.
yes.
And,
You know, I'd like to work this contract out and get
Yes.
Okay.
Our ducks in a row first.
our version of what we would like in this and everybody's input, and come to an agreement amongst the five of us as what we want this contract and how we want to read. Have Manny to do a draft, and then have our meeting with them, present that to them, and explain why we are, the changes and the contract and different things, and throw it out there, and then any concerns or whatever they have, address them at the same time.
Do you wanna do like I suggested, like a conference call with Manny to get the contract, everybody the way they want it, and then have like a meeting before the council meeting, and have Orange and Manny be there?
Be fine with me.
I think the sooner the better, because there's a lot happening right now. And I'm sure they're wanting to,
But the big concern about insurance and indemnity is covered.
it's covered.
Yes.
Okay, so the rest of this is really small potatoes compared.
Can you verify that with that contract not being valid? they got insurance through Orange, but if that contract isn't any good, and that's where we're covered under
We're
the
insured,
liability.
we're insured on their contract. I mean, not
Yeah,
on
we're
their
named
contract,
as an
but we're named
additional
as additional
insured.
insured on their certificate of insurance.
Okay.
It says Town of Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm
on it.
sure if that weren't the case, I would hope that Manny would be all over that.
And I don't think that, I mean, like, the insurance company, they don't even wanna see a contract, so I think
They
it's
reviewed
probably irrelevant, so.
Even comments in here. About insurance.
Yeah,
$1 million and $5 million is adequate.
That sure ought to be enough.
I do agree that we, should require updated certificates of insurance every year
yeah.
that states that the coverage is.
Yeah, and see, that's in the original, that they're supposed to present that by January
Do
first,
they-
which they didn't. We
Did-
just now got it.
Does their insurance run year to year or 6 months to 6 months? I mean, however often they renew it, we should get a certificate.
Right.
Just make sure that's been renewed.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
good, up
Well,
to
and
current.
once you tell the insurance company, I mean, in my business, I had repeat customers in my, all they have to do is tell their insurer, and every time they renew, the insurance
Right,
company
and
will
Okay.
send it to you
Alright.
automatically. I mean, I used to do it with mine.
So you want me to have Manny, set up a conference call and then everybody can just call in from wherever they are?
Fine with me.
Or you can come up here, if you're in town, you could come up here and do it, for that matter, but if you're at work or whatever, you can call them.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I'll do my best to be here, and if I can't be, I'll do it via phone.
Can somebody tell me, I know John, on this new one, John put down and said, and this may be, because I don't know what the procedure is, it says if the lessee terminates the lease, they must maintain their property under the contract agreement until December of the calendar year, whether the property is in use or not. Is that normal? Is that something
That was-
normal they
that
do in contracts?
That was something I suggested because that would work in our favor, that they would continue to mow it, and
Like
maintain
mow
it
grass?
until the end of the proposed contract agreement time that I suggested. I've suggested in there, Manny didn't copy all this, everything, the
Yeah.
one I sent out with the attachment, his reply doesn't copy everything that I originally sent out to everybody. So he just commented and just included certain parts of what I'd sent. But and he even says in his original letter that he recommends reducing the length of time of the lease.
Yeah.
And I suggested doing from December, or January 1 to December 31st every year, and renewable every year, and not being automatically renewal. And Manny said give an additional time so that, for the renewal process, paperwork, whatever, but, and that was the reason I said, if they terminated it, they would be responsible to maintain it, because then we'd have to come in and get, extra help or whatever to go out and start mowing and this and that, and winterizing it, and that, and on the flip side of that was if we were to terminate it, they would get to keep it until the end of the season or whatever, so that they could finish their season and their scheduled games and stuff out. So I did it to where, benefited either one on the terminations, what I was looking at. And, because that could put a burden on us if they quit, terminate in the middle of the year or summer, and then all of a sudden we gotta go out there and put additional guys out mowing and trimming, and winter rolls around, we gotta winterize it and do all the maintenance and, get everything ready to lock it up for the
It
winter
really
and
works
stuff.
both ways for them, because your town council could change in January, even though the contract was renewed before, the new council could say, bye-bye.
Oh, I know.
And they're at least covered till the end of that ball season that way.
And that's what I was looking at, was, so, from year to year for their season, so that it couldn't get terminated, and if something did happen. And the only other thing I had in there was if they do breach a contract, then it can be terminated immediately.
Right.
And that's pretty much standard with anybody, you're gonna breach contract, and it can be
Yes.
terminated right immediately, and I put down in there 30 days, and Manny reduced that down to 15, he said, or 90 days, and he said 90 was, in his reply, he thought 90 was too long, it should be 15 on breach of contract.
15?
Notice, yeah, it's in his
I think you
reply, I
recommended 30,
believe.
didn't you?
90.
I recommended 90 if in breach of contract, and I figured I'd give him time to reschedule and get the game rescheduled somewhere else, and he said 15. He said it's kinda standard. That's just type of stuff that we need to meet and discuss, and everybody come to an agreement and have the attorney's legal opinion put in on a lot of this stuff, and, And, yeah, like I said, I'm not opposed to being out there, and the part that, you know, Toby's, he disagreed with me on the part about a rec team out there, you know? And, that's fine, I value Toby's opinion, and I appreciate him, being honest and telling me, but I disagree with him, I think that, I originally felt that when they come up here and did their presentation, it was for the kids of this community, along with their kids, that they were bringing into this community to play on this field, and I kinda feel that we were misled, because with that being said, we don't have all-star kids in this team, or town. We got recreation kids, and with them saying that, and then after they've been here and they had the ball fields for a year, now we find out they're an all-star team. You gotta try out, and these kids ain't never gonna be that. And in my recommendation was on that that I sent out to everybody was that if someone here in the community would want to organize, basically like an Atlanta youth baseball team, like that they would coordinate or help let them play out there and kind of cooperate and coordinate it with their games and tournaments and things, and not to say that they necessarily have to put a team together for our kids and have them managing and coaching a team. I was just suggesting that if someone from this community, which I don't see a whole lot of interest in it, and there's from parents volunteering to do that, and I just thought if we had it in the contract and somebody did come up and want to know why an outside organization had the use of the baseball fields out there that was built and put together by the community and the people of this community, and our kids can't even play on them, at least we could say it's in the contract. If we had anybody in this town that would put together a team, it's right there, they could go out there and play on that field. And that was where I was coming from with that, I don't expect Orange baseball team, they said that they'd let any kid in our town play on that, and whatnot, and if they had to, they would develop an additional team if they had their teams filled up and things. That's the stuff that Steve said, but, now, like I said, it's not a recreational team, and our kids aren't gonna play unless somebody from this community would put together Atlanta youth and they would have some opportunity to play out there. And, I don't know what their schedule is and how much they're planning on utilizing the fields and stuff, but originally, if you guys recall, they were to work with Rick Pfeiffer and let him play men's softball and stuff out there too, and coordinate with him, because Rick had done so much and everything out there, and they had no problem doing that. So I don't see the difference between Rick playing men's softball and they could coordinate that and work it in out there to some other, body that wanted to put some kids from Atlanta out there on the field.
I believe at the beginning, they said that they would also work with anybody that if they wanted to share the fields when they're not using it, that they could.
And, that's what that was my suggestion, just to get it in the contract as part of that agreement. That, that's basically what they told us when they came in, and I'd just like to see it in there. And I don't look for anybody to do it. If they, we had interested people in this community, that field wouldn't have sat empty for 4 years, But just by the chance, you get a new generation, you get new parents, and you got a lot of kids in this community, and I'd just like to see them have that opportunity. And
Well, I think that's something too, in meeting with them, that we need to discuss.
I agree, and that's why I said if we put a draft together, and I'm gonna put, that's the part I wanna put in there, it's a draft, and then we can meet with them, and if they, we discuss it with them, and there's a reason why they can't do that or whatever, I mean, I like it, I can tell you I ain't gonna like it, because my whole purpose of allowing, agreeing to let an outside organization come in was that our kids had the opportunity to play out there. And I'm seeing that they're not, and that part right there bothers me. And, I don't want the people of this community and all the people that was involved with building that diamond and donating all their money and time and effort and everything to put a diamond together for the community of Atlanta is an outside organization utilizing it, and, the community ain't benefiting from it other than the improvements. I see where Manny's talking about all the people in the business and things, we gotta think about that and all that, calculate that into, the equation. Okay, what do we have that then people are gonna come into this town? We don't have any restaurants, they're gonna drive through town.
Yeah, we have all the stuff happening with the train too.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is, if we had more to offer where they were bringing in and patronizing the businesses, but we don't have anybody, and, hopefully this, things will turn around. you know, and we will start getting some growth and some business come back into this town, but
Property
Well, I
values.
think one reason why there's not too many businesses, there was a lot more here when I first moved here.
Oh, yeah.
All you ladies over here, I don't have to fill you in, you guys. But one thing is that if they start a business like Lulu's, there just wasn't enough demand, for her business to go on, you know? And, so, you know, I'm just saying that with the train festival coming in, with our, Earth Festival, that it's already established and well-known, we got a good reputation, train festival coming in, now we got a good quality, as far as I'm concerned, ball diamond. I was telling John earlier today that, you know, as a councilman, I think our job, maybe I said it here earlier, that we're to preserve and improve town holdings. That's part of my job. And I think already, I might be going out on a limb, but I think the ball diamond, we look at the ball diamond as it sits right this moment, has tremendously improved the property value of that old ball diamond we inherited when them people quit up there. I'm not saying it's in the best shape, I'm not saying it's in the best shape it could be in, but, anyway, I'm for anything that's gonna put Atlanta on the map.
Well, we already had the.
Within
Olympics,
reason,
so-
within reason, you know what I'm saying. Sure. I think that's part of our duty. We owe it to the town people, whether they wanna get involved in it or not. You know? I don't wanna put no strip joint or nothing like that in here, but they probably bring a lot of business. That'd be cool.
I disagree again, buddy.
That wouldn't go over very good.
Ain't too big on fixing them.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Now they go faster over here.
okay, that,
I can't get into it like this.
It's a little bit harder.
A little smoother.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you can, we'll try to get that conference call set with Manny. We'll get a day, time set with Steve. Get these, get this contract exactly the way we want it. Let's see that. Was that old business? It was, wasn't it?
yeah.
Any other old business?
I had under, something else on the fire department. Did you get a chance to talk to Todd on?
I've left Todd a message, have not got a reply back yet. Have not spoken with, anyone at Cicero.
Okay,
Give me just a little more time.
okay, cause I'd like to, see something,
Yeah.
moving forward on that.
Yeah.
Either get our stuff back and get our fire department established, or else, decide what we're doing on this fire territory deal as far as whether we're gonna do anything or not. And let's say, in Robin's
Should give it
information there, she had down that, we're gonna have to go around and make that payment for a contract, and we're gonna be looking at doing another contract, and I really ain't in favor of that, but,
Let's do
If we only had to do 6 months, that would be great, if that's all we had to do.
so hopefully we can get some information from
Yeah.
Jamie in Cicero Township soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I had on that one. So the only other thing I had is, and that's maybe old news, it kind of new, it was under new business, old, we're aware of it, but I don't think we talked about it at the board meeting, is that those fees for going under the railroad tracks.
Yes.
I got a call from Mark Hairbrandt yesterday, and he told me that they are waived. We have to fill out the application and things, but they're waiving all permits associated with that and fees.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, appreciate that.
That's about $8,000.
Yeah, that was
Minimum
minimum.
fee.
And Mark explained that the Hoosier Port Authority, they would not have waived those if we had requested it directly from them. All the owners have to give their consent, and since all of them was in favor, then they agreed to do it. And he said the reason why is that's where they get their operating money and repairs for the tracks and that type of thing.
They
is
don't
through those
repair
big-
them.
That's what I said, they don't repair them up here.
That's a reason for the permit schedule, or the fee
Are they gonna
schedule,
send us
so.
something in writing?
Yeah, Mark said that, and I can't remember his name now, that they're at the head, the president of the Port Authority is gonna put a letter together, and he's gonna send that to us for our records and everything, and then he said that we'll still have to fill out, when we get ready to do the project, we'll have to fill out the paperwork for
I think
the
Jonathan's doing
application.
that, actually,
Yeah, so we need to relay that to
Jonathan
Jonathan
Bowen,
to go ahead
the
and
triad,
fill it out.
he handles our transportation stuff, so I think
I'm
they're
gonna pass some good news
filling
on
it
for a
out.
change. And,
Yes.
yeah, Mark just called me yesterday with that, cause he gave me a tentative, it possibly was that I sent out.
Okay.
That email that I sent to everybody,
Yes.
but that wasn't a definite, he hadn't heard back for sure, but he had yesterday,
Okay, good.
so.
Well, Mark's been a real good friend to us, hasn't
He's helped us. Yes, he has. All right,
That's all I have.
okay. Good, all right,
About 15 minutes.
working through it. Any other business tonight?
I have one little thing, and it might be a Murray thing, as a resident. Grass clippings in the street, do we have an ordinance?
So,
Yep.
sort of.
Okay,
Nothing explicitly states that. That was something that I would like to pursue
Yes.
if we can, maybe. But
What does
there,
it say? It says you can't place or deposit anything?
there is something about depositing material in town right of way.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got an ordinance I can write people on. The problem is that it's a 30-day correction time. So we need a. I mean, it's basically
something
itself.
with teeth in
so
it.
I
24
basically
hour
no matter
correction
what
time.
I need an ordinance written regarding that.
Stand
Oh, it
that.
drives me
Okay, that's
crazy.
dangerous.
It is
That's
dangerous.
here.
It's very dangerous, and it
The guy
just
that mows
looks
this yard,
terrible.
I swear, he blows every bit of this yard. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take pictures sometime. It's ridiculous.
Some people I think do it on purpose.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, you'd almost have
So
to
we
to
could
get as
have
much
Danny
grass as they get.
Draft us an ordinance that addresses just that.
Yeah, blow your stuff out of the street. I mean,
Keep it out of the street.
I get grass in the street when I mow one of my houses, but how hard is it to pull out a blower or run your mower down
Run your
through there?
mower
or
down
something?
Mower
You know,
down,
it's
Right.
blow it back over in your yard, no problem.
Speaking of fees, now, we've had a long meeting, I know, but something for us to think about. Andy, you're building commissioner, maybe you can. How difficult is it to change fees? And then, my fee is the demo fee, demolition fee, is
Yeah.
currently $250.
Only for a house, not for accessory structures.
Okay, does a mobile home fall under that?
Yeah,
That's $250.
yeah. What are you talking about, the trailer park?
No, just
Oh.
any place in general. I mean,
No.
we've got
They're
old
getting ready to-
properties
They're getting
that,
ready to do one down there.
that we're trying to clean up, and am I out of line to,
They're a lot more expensive everywhere else.
are they?
We're on the low end, and also, we have to submit paperwork to the courthouse to get that taken off the tax rolls.
So that's our responsibility?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, most places, I could get some to give you guys comparisons, but they're a higher base fee and it's so much per square foot when you demo it. Like on a mobile home, that's what I told the guy at the park down here, cause he was complaining about it, and I said, put wheels on it, drag it wherever you want it.
really.
Seriously. Yeah, I wasn't being a smart aleck, but I was like, drag it somewhere else or dispose of it in another manner. Well, I don't wanna mess with all that. It's like,
Here are your choices,
it's-
this
yeah.
or this.
It's how it is, but I just met with the guy before the meeting about it. And accessory structures, garages, outbuildings and things like that are 75. And anything under, I don't apply it to mini barns. Because you don't even need a permit to build them in the first place, so you don't need one for
Just
demolition.
a question.
And I don't apply it to, non-permanent structures, not for like a carport or anything like that,
Doghouse.
What do we
Permanent.
call a mini barn? They've got all
Something's
different
kids.
sizes.
Well,
Something's
anything,
kids.
144 square feet and down,
So that
you got a
new,
permit.
well, I was gonna ask you, is that considered a mini barn? You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've already had about
Okay, I didn't know whether-
257,000 people talk to me about
'Cause
that.
I like it, I
I
really,
know.
you know,
It's like,
well, as a,
that is the most talked about thing in this entire town, let me tell you. Yeah, it really is, I ain't even joking. I've had more people say something to me about that.
John Street.
Yeah, I really have.
Is it like
It's
14 by 38 or
It's,
something like that?
it's 14, it is 14 by 40. And he paid over $14,000 for that thing. The place in Anderson, you know, on 9 where the split is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
okay.
And it is got spray foam insulation in it. It is like the deluxe package, man.
Nicer than
They
his
made
house.
3 rooms.
Yeah.
He brought me,
That's for
yeah,
sure.
he brought me pictures of it beforehand when he came with his building permit and.
Ain't nobody
So
really
he
got a
said that
better
minimum,
man
right?
cave than
It's
him.
true.
What our ordinance is, if it's 144 square feet or under, it's not a permit, if it's 144 or above. But on the county's level, they tax you on anything.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
4 by 8. You'll get taxed on it. Whether it's, a lot of people think if it's not on a permanent foundation, you don't pay taxes on it. That's not true. The county gets you for everything.
Yeah. Good horse for property, you're paying for it.
Yep.
Any other new business? Someone like to make a motion that we sign the claims and adjourn?
Make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion, we sign the claims and adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What was the, do you know what the survey was for in the claims? What they surveyed? What was it? That's a ball dime or what? I can't
Probably
remember.
probably over here, the King Cotton Base.
Yeah, the ball diamonds, there's
That's the
places
last
here.
Oh, we surveyed,
It's a survey from Kane's.
oh, okay.
Put stake survey.
I couldn't remember.
It is.
Thank you.